Hello YouTubers, and today I'm going to be reviewing the animatronic Cyberman. Now, this was released back in 2006, maybe early 2007, and the reason I'm reviewing this is because I wanted to review something different, but something from the past, something that YouTubers generally don't review. So yeah, we're taking a look at this, and this thing comes in an absolutely huge box. Just to demonstrate how big this box is, I know. Here's a Dalek next to it. It's huge. Pretty much, this is pretty much if you have like a 12-inch figure, although this figure is not actually 12 inches, it's about the same size in terms of height. We've got on the side here two modes. There is motion sensing and guard mode. We'll go more into that later. And if we take a look at the feature set, so we've got a Cyberman, and also just to note, this was available as a Cyber Leader, and I believe there was a Cyber Controller model. But basically, if you want to look at any of this information, then you know what to do, just pause the video. Isn't that all nice, well and good? So, let's get this thing out of this box, and let's take a look at it. So here he is out of his box, and as you can see, the detail is pretty good. It's got the general look of the Cyberman down. This was made by character, and pretty much, yeah, it's basically, the top half of it is just basically a Cyberman figure, but on a larger scale. Being on a larger scale, though, they were able to add a few more details on it. For example, the Cybermen that were released at the time didn't have the slight little lines in the struts on the handlebars, just there. You can see. You can also see the vents as well, the teardrop eye. And you can't really see it on camera there, but even, maybe you can. The individual lines in the mouth section there. All the different plating and that around the back. Unfortunately, he is riddled with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 screws on the back of him, which is unfortunate. However, the seam running down the side isn't too bad, I guess. You've also got the C for Cyberman chest piece there, and you've also got the vent sculptures on the side as well, which is really nice, well and good. You've got all the different sections here. This is obviously where the arm gun would pop out. And it's actually the same on this side as well. You've got the little bars running through from the top of the shoulder to the elbows. And even on the legs and that, you've still got all that lovely detail. The pose he's in at the minute does look a bit weird, because he is permanently fixed in this pose. Which is until he starts moving around, but his legs are permanently fixed. To this really nice base, which you can see is the Cyberman Cyberman logo with the chest piece. And it's really nice. Actually, I think this would have been a better thing to release on its own. That makes sounds, but really nice on a nice little plinth there. And this is where the batteries go as well. You can see all the BBC information on. There's two modes, try me and on. So let's turn him on. You can see he started moving. Now the motion detecting feature is basically, there's a little hole just there where the motion sensor is, and basically when you leave the room and walk by him, he will start moving and start speaking. The other mode, which is guard mode, is basically on all the time and will basically say things at random points. But there's a try me button at the bottom here, so we can just make him talk and do stuff. Otherwise we'll be here all day. There is an LED at the bottom, which I'll demonstrate in a second.
Halt, or you will be deleted. Unmodified intruder located. Alert! Alert!
He will just keep doing random movement as he's turned on, but you can also keep pressing the button.
Taken for upgrading. Engaging cyber scanning mode.
It doesn't actually say how many phrases he actually has, but basically it's the standard Cyberman phrases from the early Cyberman toys, and if you can just see here,
Multi-spectrum cyber scanning now engaged.
there we go, that's the light, and he put his arm up. Yeah, that last quote is basically what every Dalek character options remote control Dalek toy says, but just with superior cyber added at the front. I think it is. This is basically not really much of a kid's toy because it doesn't do a lot. It's one of those things that maybe you put on a desk or you put somewhere in a kid's bedroom, and every so often when someone walks by, it starts talking and making noise. You know, but it's not really. You can't really. If you judge it as a toy, you can't really play with it. And as a collector's item, the detail is good, but I don't think the lack of articulation and it being in this one pose with its arms stretched out like that does make it look a bit awkward, especially with the legs like this. You know, this is basically one of the Doctor Who novelty items. Think it like the desktop control Dalek, the TARDIS spinner. You know, this is more really geared towards being like a novelty item that you put on your desk and that. So whenever, you know, you can either press the button to make him talk or use the sensor. The sensor though doesn't work very well. Pretty much you pretty much have to go out, leave him for a bit, and then come back in. Then again, this was 2006, 2007, so censoring technology isn't as good as it was now. So yeah, I also think maybe if they move the sensor a bit more forward, because it is really far back in there, maybe if they'd been more towards the front, or maybe on this flatter section here rather than having a massive groove in there, because to be honest it does look like a hole, but way back in there is the sensor. I can see if I put it in the light, but even so, it is a nice little novelty. Maybe it'll be nice to someone who's more of a casual Doctor Who fan. You can still find these if you look for them on eBay. I picked this guy up for just £4. I did actually. My brother did have one back in the day, but he broke it because he manually moved the arms, which is something you shouldn't do. You shouldn't manually move the arms or anything. The only thing you can really manually move is the head, and that's really about it. And also the hands. You can bend the arms, but to be honest, you should just leave them where they are, because. And also the waist moves on its own as well. Overall, I do quite like it, though it is a bit large. If you have a smaller desk like I do here, you might not have somewhere to fit it. Overall, that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. The only reason I, again, review this is for some nostalgia, but also something a bit different. I'm not quite sure what to review at the minute, so please leave some suggestions below on what you want me to review, and if I don't have it, if it's cheap, I'll get it, but I do have quite a large amount of Doctor Who merchandise. Anyway, that's it for this review. I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Also, for those who care, I did end up getting that Ninth Doctor set replaced, which is great because it means I get to review it, and I get another one where the Auton arm isn't wrong, and I don't have to open it. I can just stare at it and never have to bother with it. So, yay.